everyone, I'm Chef Susie with Escoffier Online. Welcome to our live session this morning. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a Semifreddo, and this is just a basic mousse, and it's served frozen or partially frozen. Like anything else that we make, the flavor combinations are limitless. Today I'm going to be making chocolate with mint. And you can pretty much do anything with these. A lot of times you're going to see these made in a loaf pan, and the one that I'm going to be demonstrating today I'm going to be making in a quarter sheet pan. So I'm going to be cutting it in a square and then cutting that in half. But really the sizes and shapes are pretty limitless. What's nice about the loaf or the quarter sheet pan, you can cut the size that you like, and oftentimes you'll see these served in glasses, and you can put a little chocolate around the inside before you put the mixture in. So definitely have some fun with your Semifreddo. Okay, so for the mint, you can use some mint extract if you like, or you can use mint leaves for more of a natural flavoring. So I've got some mint here, and I put this in my cream. First I scalded the cream, which means it was right before it was coming to a simmer, started to bubble around the edges, and I put the mint in, and I've been leaving this steep so the flavor can infuse for about an hour. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and strain this, and then you're going to chill it, because this is going to be the whipped cream component for the mousse. So let's go ahead and strain this, and we'll put it in a bowl, chill it. Usually takes, it's been cooling off for an hour here, so it's not real hot, but usually takes about a good hour in the refrigerator, so just keep that in mind. So you want to strain out this mint, and this is a super nice flavor. If you have not flavored something with mint this way before, I definitely recommend doing this. Okay, so this goes in the fridge, and I whipped up a little bit earlier, so we'll have that for our whipped cream component. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this aside. Nextly, we're going to whisk our eggs with a little bit of sugar over a double boiler until these are a nice ribbon stage. And then what we'll do is we're going to whip our egg whites, and then we're going to be doing some folding with all three of these. So please let me know if you have any questions on anything. Okay, so here we're going to go over to the double boiler. And when you're putting your egg yolks on a double boiler, you are going to make sure that the bottom of the bowl is not touching the water. You just want the steam to do the cooking here. So don't walk away, don't take your dog for a walk. You're going to want to keep an eye on these, because these are going to cook quickly. And please let me know if you have any questions on anything so far. So what you're going to do is you're going to feel these, they're going to start to get very loose. You can see they're getting shiny. The sugar is dissolving from the warmth, and then the egg yolks are going to start cooking, and we are just going to keep whisking this until it turns a nice ribbon stage. And it's going to take a little while. If you're doing this, and I do this from time to time too, and it's all of a sudden getting thick and you can kind of feel the tension and you feel like you can't keep up with it, then just go ahead and pull it off the heat and whisk it on the side and kind of catch up a little bit, and then go back, because the last thing that you want are scrambled eggs. And you're going to want to keep a towel close by, and this is coming to a little bit of a rumble here, so we're going to go ahead and lower that a little bit. Okay, you're definitely going to want to keep up with this. And you may see a little bit of a rim around the side where it's starting to cook a little bit, and just make sure that you're whisking that quickly so you're not getting any scrambled eggs. And I'm starting to feel a little bit of tension here. You can see this is getting lighter. And you don't want your water to boil too quickly. It may heat up a little high. I went ahead and lowered that. So it's becoming a little thick, and it should almost look ribbony when we're finished. What we're going to do is we're going to set this aside. It's going to be cooling off while we whip our egg whites, and then we'll talk about the Semifreddo. And please let me know if you have any questions on anything so far. We have a question. The question is are there versions that don't use eggs? There's a few versions that don't use egg yolks, but you can definitely make this without eggs for sure. You can just use the heavy cream. And I've done that before. And you'll see, like any other formula, you're going to see a variety of variations. Like I said, some of these are going to have egg yolks in them. Some of them egg yolks, no egg yolks, but only the egg white. And then you'll probably see some with just some heavy cream too. Okay, so this is coming along just fine. And we're going to let it go just a little bit more. And has anyone made the Semifreddo before? Does anyone have any experience with some still form frozen mousses?
Yes, Chef Susie, I've made it before.
Okay, good. What flavors and what shape did you make?
I made blackberry and I used the loaf bread pan.
Beautiful. That sounds fabulous. I like the blackberry. I've also seen plum that looks really beautiful as well. And you can also put you can use fruit purees, and you can put a little bit of whole fruit in here too. Okay, so this is looking really good. It's got a nice thickness to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set it aside, and we'll talk about the rest of our components. And you don't want this to be too warm when you're folding these together. You can put it on an ice bath if you feel like you need to, if you have everything ready. Okay, so nextly, like I said, we've got the whipped cream, the mint whipped cream that I whipped earlier, and we're going to go ahead and whip our egg whites. Okay, so I have my egg whites and my sugar. We're going to whip these to kind of a medium heat. And you don't want to whip them dry because they're going to break down where they look all crumbly and you get those little white specks in there. So just be mindful of that. With egg whites, as you noticed, I had started them ahead of time on the machine. You can start them, let them get a little frothy, and then just go back to them and turn them on. So we're just going to kind of let these work on their own a little bit. And for flavors, chocolate works great, and you can also do some liqueurs are nice too. Like I said, some whole berries are super nice, and you can also do some chocolate pieces. I recommend, if you're adding chocolate, to add maybe some chocolate shavings and not the chocolate chips because they're a little hard to cut. Nuts work well too. So our egg whites are coming up nicely. Like I said, you don't want to let these go too far because they get very dry and they just really deflate when you put them in anything. Okay, just about ready. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to show you the Semifreddo, the mint Semifreddo without any coloring in it. And then I made one earlier that I put a little bit of coloring in it. So we'll see the difference. I myself, when it comes to mint or key lime, I like to put a little color in there. But we'll go ahead. I know that a lot of people don't like coloring, so we're going to go ahead and show without too. And then kind of the choice is yours. So these are perfectly whipped. Okay, and please let me know if you have any questions on anything. So firstly, we're going to be folding the egg whites into the egg yolk mixture. I'm going to whisk this a little bit. If you're using a liqueur, I recommend putting it in with the egg yolks. Okay, So we're going to be folding our egg whites in about a half at a time. Nice and fluffy, they look great. Okay, remember folding from the bottom over to the top. It's a little easier to keep up with this if you're just doing about a half at a time. Okay, this looks great. Now, I'm going to be folding in the whipped cream. Okay, it's looking good. And the whipped cream as well, I'm going to be folding in a half at a time. Your whipped cream too, don't whip this too stiff because it's really just going to deflate when you put it in. Kind of like a nice, a medium, kind of a medium peak. Okay, so this is what it's looking like without adding any color, which is okay. A lot of chefs do things naturally without any color, but I'm going to show you the difference with a little bit of color. And really the choice is yours. Also too, like I said, I put a little bit of green. A little bit of pink is nice too, maybe for the holiday. Okay, so our mixture is just about finished. It's looking good. Just want to get this whipped cream folded in here. And then we're going to turn it into our pan. Typically when I'm adding my color, I always put it in with my whipped cream, and this way I don't have any excessive folding. And as you're folding, you're going to see some deflation. It's pretty normal. You can see our bowl is a little less full. I have some whipped cream pieces and I'm just kind of breaking up a little bit. Okay, but we're looking good. Let's go ahead and clean up a little bit and we're going to pour this into our pan. Okay, so I have my quarter sheet pan. I just lined this with a little bit of plastic, makes it a lot easier to get this out. And to get your plastic in here a little bit smoother, you can put a little bit of vegetable spray. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to fill this up. And this one I fill to the rim. Like I said, it's limitless with the shapes and sizes. Oftentimes you're going to see this made in a loaf. And I like to make them in these quarter sheet pans because I like to cut squares and then triangles. The loaf pan, you always don't get the clean edge, and that's what I like about this. But you can also put these in little glasses. You can put them in little mason jars and just serve them right in the glasses or the jars. Okay. So this goes in the freezer. So you're going to want to freeze this for about 3 hours, or overnight is best. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at one that I made earlier. And I let it freeze for about, I'm thinking about 5 hours. So with these Semifreddos, there's sugar in here. And the freezing temperature, for sugar is lower, and also with egg yolks. So when you're doing this with just heavy cream, it might be a little bit firmer. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so let's do a little comparison side by side here. Okay, so really the choice is yours. So this is a Semifreddo that I made earlier using just a little bit of green coloring. Let me get it unwrapped a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, a nice little bit of a mint green coloring, and It's just really a drop that I use. So really, like I said, the choice is yours, but I definitely recommend a little bit of green. So let's go ahead and unmold this and we'll plate it up. And please let me know if you have any questions on anything. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have to invert this. And you don't have to, but I do recommend putting something on this before you turn it out, just to make sure it doesn't stick. You can put nuts, whatever flavor you may want to bring into this. And I'm using coconut just because it's a little more pure, it's a little more white, it's not going to change the color on this. You could do some dark chocolate cookies, I've seen that with the mint, that's nice too. But like I said, I chose the coconut so I wouldn't have any of that darkness that might get sprinkled on the rest of the dessert. Okay, so any questions on anything? Okay, so you guys are doing good. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to just unmold this. Super easy because I have a pan lined with plastic. Okay. Okay, you can use whatever you have handy. If you have baker's cardboard circles for cakes or even another sheet pan. So I'm just going to be inverting this. Kind of hold it. And it's going to come out real easy because I've got plastic. It should anyway. There we go. And this is our Semifreddo. Okay, I had a little bit of melting because I transported this, and other than that, it looks pretty good. So we are going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, and then we're going to cut some pieces. And we're going to be plating this up. So it's a little warm here, and I had to, like I said, transport it. So we had just a little bit of melting. I'll go ahead and take that off. We get a nice clean piece. And like I said, you could even serve this in a ramekin. All right, so let's go ahead and cut some pieces here. You want it to be frozen pretty good so it holds its shape. And you're going to want to warm your knife and then wipe that off with the towel. Once your knife is warmed, make sure that you're drying it with the towel because you don't want any of the water on your dessert. Okay. So it's cutting nicely. It's going to get a nice piece out of this for us to take a look at. And like I said, please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, our centerpiece seems to be frozen just a little bit better, so I'll take a nice sample out of there. And we're going to go ahead and plate this up. So you're probably thinking, Chef Susie, you said this was meant with chocolate, so we're going to be finishing it off with some ganache. That's where your chocolate's going to come in. Okay, so Semifreddo. Like I said, if it's a little soft for you, just keep it in the freezer a little bit longer. And like I said, I kind of had to transport this one, so it is a little bit softer than it usually is. So this is the Semifreddo. It looks super beautiful. As you can see, the color, the green color, it looks nice on the white plate. It really shows it off a bit. Okay, so I got some stickiness, so let's go ahead and overcome that. And it's been a little hot here lately. Okay. So with our Semifreddo, oftentimes you can kind of lay these on top of each other. You can stand them up, or you can just kind of, I've seen these served fanned as well. So let's go ahead and finish this off with a little bit of ganache. And this is something, if you're serving it in a restaurant, you're going to want to serve it right away And I have a little bit of warm ganache here. We're going to be putting it on here. Maybe we'll wait to put the ganache on last, huh? I'm going to put it right there. Okay, another thing that goes very nicely with mint, cherries, and cherries also go great with chocolate. So I've got these cherries that I picked up. They were super nice this morning, and it's just a nice fresh dark cherry. Take the pit out, and you can put some of these on your dessert. So you're getting ready to wrap up, guys. So please let me know if you have any questions, and please try the Semifreddo. You're gonna love it. It's great for this time of year. I'm going to put a little cherry on there. I also have a few mandarin oranges for a little bit of color. And then we're also going to put a little bit of mint. And we're going to put our warm component on last so it doesn't melt. Since we already have a little bit of melting. And this is our Semifreddo. I've got a little bit of fresh mint. And thank you so much for joining me today. Let's go ahead and put some ganache on here, and we'll be all ready to go. Okay. So this is a nice version of the chocolate mint Semifreddo. Add a little bit on our plate there. And thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.